Shalom. Kol Holo Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. Pretty much, this place has already been sealed for destruction. And as you can see, when you turn the TV on and look at the news, there's just chaos all around, man. And the Lord told you that in these last days, it's going to get bad. It's going to get real bad. And we've been telling you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua that it was going to get bad. And I don't know if you're seeing it yet, but it's getting there. And if you're not seeing it, you're just being reserved to the day of destruction, man. You're going to be reserved to the day of destruction if you're not seeing that this place is fit for destruction and it's going to be destroyed. So you have, I got a couple of clips pretty much on, the direction this kingdom is going, man, and it's headed. Being that the weather is getting nice, this is about to be a very brutal, a very vicious summer, especially if you're in the New York area, because I don't know, man. Once the weather gets nice, people get more and more crazy, desperate. A spirit jumps on people to do the unthinkable. And in this instance right here, this is a little old. This is about a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, where you had this, I believe he was a Ishmaelite too, Ishmaelite, a so-called Arab, right? That was the suspect. It says a man graped on number one subway train in Manhattan. And I was speaking to a dude earlier, and I said, damn, man, it's safer to walk on the streets than it is to ride the train, or the bus nowadays, because there's more crime on the train or the bus nowadays. It's still going on in the streets, but it's like you more safe on the streets than you are on the train, right? But they'll sit up there and tell you that that subway crime is down, which is all a damn lie. The same way they say New York is one of the safest cities on the planet, man, in America, period, which is a goddamn lie, man. So, I got a couple of, scriptures and all that. You know how we go. You know how we get down. So, I'm going to play it. Yahweh Shemel Shah, willing to let me out of fire. Check it out.
A disturbing act on the one train has police asking for your help. We want you to take a second and look at your screen. Police say the man on your screen is wanted in connection to raping another man on the northbound one train. This happened this past Saturday at 4 o'clock in the morning. Police say this guy demanded money from a 27-year-old man sitting on the train after making some sexual comments. Then investigators say while the train approached the Christopher Street subway station, the suspect forced the victim to perform a lewd act, then got off the train. According to the NYPD crime stats, overall transit crime citywide is up by 25% compared to the same time last year. At the start of the year, Governor Hochul pledged to increase the presence of the NYPD on subways, including placing 2 officers on each train. Now, the NYPD is asking if you know who this man is, call police or your local precinct. In the
Hey, let's get them back here. Let's put them up. Because this is what you have, man. You have these bug outs on the train looking to do whatever. Looking to do whatever, man. So you got to keep your head on the swivel. Got to keep your head on the swivel. Salakia, 1 second. Yes, luck, yeah. So yeah, you have these bug outs, on the train, especially one. I think this was around 1 or 2 in the morning. You know, and you got to watch yourself, man, because there's a lot of these types of weirdos everywhere. Some dude that looked like he just got out of the goddamn shrink house. But this is what happens when you're just not paying attention. You just believe that can't nothing happen to you. We're in a sick filled society, man. We're in a sick filled society where people they have a perverse spirit on them. They're willing to do anything and everything. And my question is, as they said in this news uh report, that right before the train came to a stop, he forced the man to commit a lewd act on him. You know, like, what was that, man? Like, how does somebody have time to do that on the train? Unless this dude that was sitting down was a goddamn mole, you know, I don't see that happening. So, regardless of the fact, it's not here. 1 second. Put my charger. Regardless of the fact, it happened, and it's wild, man. It's wild. So, you got the same dude they caught him, I guess. Yeah, they did catch him. Not I guess. It says suspect arrested in alleged grape of man aboard subway at Christopher Street Station. And this dude is mentally challenged, man. Not just Jake that's out here that's bugged out, man. There's all these nations, especially New York City. This city can get to you, man. And this country as a whole is getting to people in many ways than one. But New York, LA, DC, those states, it can really pretty much bug you out, man, if you're not in the right spirit. So let me get a scripture real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 3, because there's no shame. There's no shame, man. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, and they show their Shalakia, the shoe of their countenance doth witness against them. And they declare their sin as Sodom, and they hide it not, man. This dude was having something, sexual happen to him on the train from another man, man. Out in the open, cameras everywhere, right? They don't hide it. It says, woe to their souls, meaning destruction to their own souls, man. Because they're going to be put to death. It says, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. And that's all that's going to come to everybody that's dealing with that type of activity, man. That type of lifestyle, whether you are a lesbo or you a mo. The Lord is going to eradicate you off the planet, man, because you are an abominable spirit. That's what's going to happen, man. I didn't say it. The Bible said it, right? The Bible said it, man. Let's get Genesis, right? Because man has corrupted his own way, man. This is Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. It says, and the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. This is what people have on their mind. Nothing but evil. Nothing but evil, man. They're not looking to see, when they wake up in the morning, they're not looking to see what good they can do for somebody. They're looking to see there are many people out here, millions of people that are out here looking to see what evil they can do to somebody, man. Right? Verse 11. The earth also was corrupt before the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and the earth was filled with violence. Right? This is all you see, violence, crime, violence, lewd acts, wickedness, evil. It says, and the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth, man. All flesh is corrupted in some way, shape, form, or fashion, man. Men or women. Right? This is where you being born in sin it comes from, because every day you wake up, you committing sin in some type of way, man. Knowingly or unknowingly. Right? Because we're in a corrupt society. We're under the rulership of the wicked. So the wicked is going to have you go off. He's going to hide things, whether it's in your food, your clothes. You don't mean to do it, but in the eyes of the Lord, it is considered to be corrupt, man. Right? So let's listen in on this one.
Police have arrested a man wanted for allegedly raping a fellow subway passenger. His arrest coming on the same day Governor Hochul officially promised billions of dollars in funding to improve subway safety. Here's News 4's Chris Jose.
The NYPD says the suspect on camera sniffing his fingers sexually assaulted a man on a northbound 1 train early Saturday morning. Officers arresting Mohammed Azim today.
Mohammed, what happened?
What happened on the train? Huh? What happened on the train?
Got me, G.
Police say Azim made sexual remarks and demanded money from a 27-year-old passenger. As the train approached the Christopher Street subway station in Greenwich Village, cops say he forced the victim to perform a lewd act.
Why were you sniffing your fingers? That's some nonsense, stupid.
The arrest taking place while Governor Kathy Hochul announced $68 billion over the next 5 years for the New York City subway system.
And look at these devils just smiling away, man. Because to them, this is home to them. As long as these devils are surrounded by evil and wickedness, they're happy, man. They're happy. Don't let them fool you into think that they are trying to combat crime and violence, man. They love it. These are corrupt, violent, wicked people, man. Esau, Edom, this is his nature. This is her nature. This is the nation of Edom's nature, man. Right? And as long as they're in rulership, this is going to continue to get worse, man. This is why the Lord is going to eradicate the nation of Edom off the planet.
I don't want anyone to feel that sense of anxiety. That's what I've been fighting.
The governor confirmed a new plan expanding involuntary removal of those deemed mentally ill and a danger to themselves and others. The homeless, also part of the plan.
We're going to put in some welcome centers, let people have a place to go to, get warmed up, take care of them, and then be persuasive in saying, now, we have a better option for you.
The newly approved state budget includes $77 million for 300 officers on overnight trains and 750 officers on platforms and in stations. The governor says the surge of cops underground is reducing crime and riders are noticing.
I feel it's safe. However, there are some times where you see someone acting not right.
The MTA touting cameras that led to an arrest at last week's deadly stabbing at the City Hall subway station. A camera also helping police track down Azim, who continued to speak to reporters as he was led away in handcuffs.
We're into that stupid stuff. We're not dead.
Azim is charged with rape, sex abuse, and forcible touching. Police say the victim was taken to the hospital after that attack. In Greenwich Village, Chris Jose, News 4 New York.
So, you see what type of spirit is out here, man. You need to watch yourself. This is 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, meaning the signs, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number. And the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago, man. Right? So the iniquity, which is sin, which is evil, is going to be increased above what you've seen before and what you see now. It's going to be increased. It's going to get worse. Verse 3. And the land that thou seest now to have root, because, he got locked up, whatever, still some sort of law enforcement up and running. It says, and the land that thou seest now to have root, shall thou see wasted suddenly, man. So this place is about to be wasted suddenly by ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? This is 2nd Ezra 14 and verse 14. 2nd Ezra 14 and 14. It said, let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. You can't be weak in these days, man, in these last days. Right? You got to be pretty much a warrior, man, in these last days. Women, if you can't, stay your ass in the house, man. Don't be out all crazy, man. But we know you're not going to listen. Right? It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker with age. And the longer this kingdom goes on, the worse it gets. The more broken down it gets. It says, so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein, man. So it's going to be more evils, many more evils that are going to increase on the people that's here in America, Babylon the Great, man. Right? Because this is the place that is set for destruction. And this is the place that's going to fuel the fire that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is about to bring unto it, man. Right? So let's go to another one. Right? That was in New York. This is in Arizona. This happened, I think, yesterday or the day before. I think yesterday, where you had a mass shooting in a steakhouse out there in Glendale, county or whatever, out there in Arizona, where 3 people were unalived and 5 people were shot, man. Here it is, you sitting at a restaurant eating your steak, eating your food, man, and somebody bust in there and people end up unalived. Especially these places where you won't think these things can happen, they're going to happen, man. The Lord said the mirth of the land is gone, man, meaning there's not going to be any more good times out here. It's going to be about survival and protection soon, man. Once this place collapses, right? Once this place collapses, that's all you're going to be thinking about. That's all that's going to matter. Right? So check it out.
It's just so heartbreaking, guys. I spoke with so many people today who came by and laid these candles here. You can see this growing memorial where people are honoring those 3 victims that lost their lives. Of course, this memorial is really just steps away from where this actually happened in the parking lot behind me. Now, I was able to speak with family members and friends of all 3 victims. They all tell me they are so shocked, and I really don't understand how this could have happened.
At this point, I'm numb. I miss him.
Jessica Ortega is the older sister to Chris.
Look like, more than likely the Northern Kingdom, maybe so-called Mexicans or, Ecuadorians or Salvadorians or whatever. But yeah, man, it's real out here. And the more you try to deny it, the more you put yourself in a position,
Christopher and Damien Sproul. Christopher, 21, and Damien, 17, were both shot and killed last night in the mass shooting.
They both were fathers. We don't know what happened. We were only told that they were in an argument in the event.
Last night, Glendale police got a call just before 8 for shots fired outside a popular restaurant near Glendale and 59th Avenues. Officers say it started as an argument and quickly escalated. Today, Ortega is struggling to understand how two pillars of her family are gone.
I haven't slept. I got a call from a medical examiner at 8 o'clock this morning letting me know that my brother's autopsies will be done tomorrow and that we need to hurry and pick a funeral home.
The shooting happened at the on a Sunday
Damn, took both of her brothers. That's crazy, man.
afternoon event, which is part of the lowrider community.
They were only there because they had just gotten into a new hobby of lowriders. So my brothers were trying to make friends so that they could get their cars out there.
It's painful, bro. It's painful. We were all having a good time.
Robert Mandel is best friends to the other victim, 21-year-old Milo Suniga.
My friend got in between them and tried to tell him to back up and chill out.
He says Milo saw the fight and tried to jump in and intervene. He claims the new father was only trying to help and got caught in the crossfire.
He got like a chest patch right here, so he got shot in the chest, you know, and it's like, it just broke my heart.
Now, police also saying that this fight was really between two groups of people who were known to have bad blood with each other. They say even though no arrests have been made at this point, there is no outstanding threat to the community. Of course, with any new information, we'll be sure to let you know both on air and online. Reporting live in Glendale tonight, I'm Sarah Robinson for Arizona's Family.
So you see, man, both kingdoms, the southern and northern kingdom, is catching hell, and the curses is sticking to them like glue, man, in these last days. Because contrary to what you may believe, so-called Latinos are Israelites, man. And they're under the curses just like the so-called Negroes. Right? And you see it. Right? So I got one more to finish this off. You know, this is a continuation of the mass shooting. You know. But let's get it. This is because there's so much evil out here, man. There's so much wickedness. People are demonic out here, and they have demonic spirits on them, and it causes them to do demonic things. You know. This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 12. It says, Salakia. I'm gonna start at verse 13. It says, "Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision," man. Now, that's going into the so-called Middle East with World War III, but that's going to trickle on over here to America, man, because this place is ripe for the judgment as well, right? It's right for the judgment as well. But we've been telling our people, man, to turn from this place, right? To remove your spirit out of the ways of America, Babylon the Great, because there's only death that's coming here, man. There's only destruction that's coming here, right? That's all that's coming here, man. If you want to be put to death, you'll continue to follow the ways of America, and you'll turn a blind eye to what, and a blind ear to what, a deaf ear to what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is saying. Right? Let's play this.
A senseless act of violence took the lives of 3 people, injured 5 others, and shattered our community. In memory of the innocent victims of this tragedy, their families, and the entire community, I would ask for everyone present in the chamber to please rise for a moment of silence.
And first on Fox, a moment of silence on the House floor in D.C. in honor of the people killed in a Glendale shooting on Sunday.
This as we now hear from the people who were there when those gunshots rang out, killing 3 people and injuring 5 others.
And Fox 10's Kenzie Beach is live tonight with more on what people are saying about what happened. Kenzie.
Yeah, Mark and Ellen, hundreds of people here last night, many of them thankful to be alive, but very shaken up as 3 lives were senselessly lost in this deadly mass shooting. Now, we're learning it was a Sunday celebration, a concert and car show here at this outdoor venue space behind me when chaos broke out. But it was this actually the parking lot over my shoulder of this outdoor venue space where the shooting happened. I spoke to a lot of people that were here last night. They described the moments that the gunshots rang out right in front of them as mayhem. On a Sunday afternoon, witnesses say it's typically a family-friendly event centered on culture and connection. But just before 8 p.m. Sunday, the Awasta de Mayo event turned to chaos.
Probably about 5 feet in front of us, he just pulled out his gun and he started shooting. And it was just mayhem. Didn't really have any time to think and just started running.
You just start hearing the bullets go pow, 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 and then everybody starts screaming, and as people saying, get down, get down.
Vendors and patrons like Andrew Barraza finding any place to hide, shielding themselves from gunfire.
See the flash and you hear the bang. It's hard to explain. It's instant panic.
Barraza finding the nearest door, a storage closet inside El Camarón Gigante, with a handful of people waiting for the gunfire to stop.
People were like crying and everybody just trying to hide under tables. I personally was hiding under a table.
But it wasn't over.
Finally, we thought the shooting stopped, and then everybody started kind of getting up a little bit, and then boom, 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 right again. There's probably over hundreds of rounds.
Police say it was a fight that started between 2 groups by the concert stage, seen in this video. Those involved in the fight were asked to leave. The fight spilled into the parking lot, quickly escalating. The gunfire was heard throughout this entire Glendale neighborhood. Police identified the 3 people killed as 21-year-old Milo Christopher Suniga and 2 brothers, 17-year-old Damian Sproul and 21-year-old Christopher Sproul. 5 other people were also shot and taken to the hospital.
It felt like an hour, but I know it was only like 5 minutes.
Bro got shot.
Now, since the time that we've been on air, a small gathering has started in this parking lot over my shoulder. It's fair to assume these are friends or family of these victims. But in terms of the investigation, we know that Glendale police are looking for multiple shooters. That's what they've told us up to this point, as the parking lot was covered in shell casings. So they'll use those shell casing to determine how many shooters they're looking for. But as of right now, no arrests have been made in this case. Reporting live in Glendale, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.
So there it is, man. You know, and so you had same shit going on, man. You get the Southern Kingdom. They can't be together too long, man. There's always something going on. So here you got the Northern Kingdom. Same thing. You know, so-called Mexicans, I believe. And when you have these large gatherings nowadays, man, and then you mix liquor with it, and then, you know, weed and all that bullshit and drugs, and something is liable to break out. And usually, you know, when Issachar, you know, so-called Mexicans from the tribe of Issachar, of the nation of Israel, they are, you know, you really don't have too much going on. Like, you know, I see them, you know, out here. They'll have like a big soccer event or something. It'd be a lot of them, man. They have the food out, and you know they can, you know, pretty much enjoy the day. Ain't nothing really going on, so you know. But this was a beef that they said been going on for a long while. So, and a fight broke out. So, hey, it's the same concept, man. With both kingdoms. Southern and Northern Kingdom, you know, but the point is, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is got a spirit of death and destruction in America, man. And our people, they need to come out of this place, right? Because it ain't like it used to be 10, 20 years ago, man. Right? This is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 14. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, because Israel, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans are asleep here in America, man. You're asleep to the fact that this place is about to be hit with a judgment from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's nothing to play with. So the Lord is telling you, awake out of sleep, man, spiritually, right? Seek him. Because all this shit that's going on, this ain't got nothing on what's about to happen. It says, and arise from the dead, your dead state, meaning spiritually, and Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, right, shall give thee light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, man. Use wisdom in these last days. You see a crowd, you got to read the room, so to speak. If you see things that's getting a little out of control, if you see, you can see, like if you spiritual, you can see demons on people, man. Get out of there. Get away from these types of acts, man. These types of gatherings. Get away from it. It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil, man. These days are evil, man. Very evil. Right? So we're going to get one more. We're going to shut it down. The point is already made. This is Ezekiel chapter 7. Right? Chapter 7 and verse 5. It says, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and evil and only evil, behold, is come. The end is come. It's come, man. It ain't no doubt about it, man. This is the end. It said, and end is come, the end is come, it watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. And when you read this chapter, the Lord said he's going to reward every man according to his way, man, according to his works, and he ain't gonna have pity. So you Jakes, man, you so-called Latinos, Native Americans, and Negroes, you better come out of your ways, man. That's not of the Lord, man. Because if not, you're gonna be judged accordingly. Call Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. To the next lesson. Shalom.